With just one simple preparation trick, you can enjoy fresh ginger all year round. Ginger is wonderful for your health, full of flavor, and something many of us use every day. But the problem is, it never seems to last long. Within just a few days, it starts to shrivel. Today, I'll show you an easy way to prepare ginger once and keep it fresh for months, even up to a year. Be sure to watch until the end so you don't miss the exact method to store. Before we start, let's get everything ready. First, you'll need a few small glass jars with lids that fit tightly. Choosing jars that are moderately sized is much more convenient than using one large container. Smaller jars are easier to handle, and they also help prevent spoilage, since you only need to open one jar at a time instead of exposing the entire batch. If possible, choose jars with a rubber gasket inside the lid. That rubber seal makes a big difference. It prevents air from seeping in and helps keep the ginger preserved much longer. Before placing the ginger into the jar, it's very important to sterilize the jar properly. Start by preparing a pot of clean water and placing all the jars inside. Don't forget the utensils you'll be using. For example, the spoon should also be sterilized along with the jars, since it will come into direct contact with the ginger when you transfer it. Next, turn on the stove and boil for about 5 minutes. The high temperature of the boiling water helps limit the growth of bacteria, yeast, and mold spores that may still be clinging to the jars. After boiling, make sure the jars are completely dry, because any leftover moisture can create the perfect environment for bacteria to grow and spoil the ginger. As for the ingredients, all you need is fresh ginger. It's best to prepare this right after buying the ginger, while it's still fresh and full of flavor. The fresher the ginger, the better the results will be. First, prepare a basin of clean water. Add 1 tablespoon of salt and stir until it dissolves completely. Then place the ginger in and soak it for about 5 minutes. Salt has excellent cleaning and antibacterial properties. After soaking, start scrubbing the ginger thoroughly. One of the most important points here is that we will be using the ginger with the skin still on. A lot of the nutrients are actually found right beneath the peel, so there's no need to remove it. Just make sure to wash the ginger thoroughly so there's no dirt or residue left. If you notice any spots that are a bit harder to clean, you can gently scrape them with the edge of a spoon. Then rinse the ginger again with clean water to remove any remaining dirt. And pat it dry with a clean towel so it's no longer damp. If you only have a small amount of ginger, you can grate it the traditional way with a hand grater. It takes a little time, but it works perfectly for 1 or 2 pieces. However, if you've bought a larger batch and want to prepare it all at once, using a blender makes the job much faster. Simply cut the ginger into small chunks so the blender can handle it more easily, then blend until you get a fine paste. Before using your grater or blender, remember to sterilize it with alcohol or boiling water and wait a few minutes until it's completely dry. This step is often overlooked, but it's really important. Any leftover bacteria can shorten the storage time. Once blended or grated, you'll notice the texture is smooth and soft, very similar to the convenience ginger that comes in tubes. If you prefer, you can also prepare finely chopped ginger or cut it into thin strips instead of using ground ginger. Simply slice the ginger into delicate strands, which are perfect for cooking when you want both texture and flavor. Not only is it convenient, but using ginger regularly also brings many practical health benefits. Ginger helps improve blood circulation, warms the body during cold weather, and can even ease the effects of air conditioning in the summer. So, whether you choose to cut it into strips or chop it finely, the most important thing is to start with fresh ginger to ensure the best flavor and the longest storage time. Now that the ginger is ready, let's talk about how to pack it into jars and let it ferment for long-term storage. The key here is to reduce contact with air as much as possible, because air is what allows spoilage bacteria to grow. Start by taking your clean, sterilized jars and lightly pressing the grated or shredded ginger down into them. Pressing helps remove any trapped air pockets. If you don't have enough ginger to completely fill the jar, cover the surface with a piece of plastic wrap so the ginger isn't exposed to air at the top. If the jar is filled all the way to the brim, there's no need for plastic wrap. Just seal the lid tightly. When filling the jars, use a sterilized spoon so you don't introduce outside bacteria. Try not to pack the ginger too tightly, because when you close the lid, the juice may overflow. If that happens, just tap the jar gently on the counter to let the air bubbles escape. Once sealed, place the jars in the refrigerator and leave them unopened for about 2 weeks. During this time, something wonderful happens. Lactic acid fermentation begins naturally. The lactic acid bacteria lower the pH, making the ginger more acidic, which suppresses the activity of harmful microorganisms. In simple terms, the ginger becomes self-preserving. After 2 weeks, you'll find that it hasn't discolored much and has developed a milder, richer taste. This gentle fermentation not only keeps the ginger safe to eat for months, but it also brings out new flavors while maintaining that fresh ginger aroma we all love. After about 2 weeks in the refrigerator, it's time to check on your ginger. When you first open the jar, you may notice that the lid is sealed tightly. That's a good sign. It means the fermentation has gone well. At this point, take a dry towel, wrap it around the lid, and twist. It will let you open the lid easily. Use a clean spoon to scoop out a little and take a look. The ginger should still look fresh, with no major discoloration. The texture will be soft and easy to use, just like the ginger paste you find in tubes. From this point on, the ginger is ready to use just like any store-bought paste. Add a spoonful directly into dipping sauce, stir-fries, soups, or sauces, and enjoy the convenience of not having to wash and grate it each time. You can also try the shredded version for dishes, where you want that little bit of texture. One of the best parts is the flavor. Fermentation gently mellows the spiciness, so the ginger tastes smoother and more delicious, while still keeping its wonderful aroma. And because there are no additives, you can feel completely safe using it in your cooking. When storing ginger this way, it's important to know the difference between safe fermentation and actual spoilage. First, don't be alarmed if the ginger turns slightly reddish or brown. That's just natural compounds in the ginger reacting with air, and it's perfectly safe. Sometimes you might also notice the aroma becoming a little milder. This simply means the fermentation has softened the sharpness, not that the ginger has gone bad. Even a whitish layer settling at the bottom of the jar is normal. It's a sign of lactic acid fermentation and completely safe to eat. What you do need to watch out for is mold. If you see fuzzy white growth, black spots on the surface, or notice an unpleasant odor, that's a clear sign the ginger is spoiled and should be discarded. To avoid problems, always use a clean, dry spoon when scooping ginger from the jar. Preparing it this way is that it's always ready to use, just like the convenient store-bought tubes, but with a fresher taste and without all the unnecessary additives. On chilly days, Try making a warm cup of ginger tea to help warm the body. Just place 1 tablespoon of ginger into a cup. Pour in about 1 cup of hot water. Stir gently, then add 1 tablespoon of honey. Stir again until well mixed, and a comforting cup of ginger tea is ready to enjoy. Fermented ginger has a mild spiciness that's easy to drink and gentle on the stomach, making it suitable even for children or those sensitive to strong flavors. It's also wonderful for cooking. A few thin slices of ginger sprinkled on top of a salad or served as a side can add flavor that blends beautifully without overpowering the dish. This method saves time in the kitchen. No need to peel, rinse, or grate fresh ginger every time there's a craving for its flavor. The best part? Properly stored, this fermented ginger will last up to 6 months in the refrigerator, giving you a steady supply of fresh-tasting ginger whenever you need it. It's simple, healthy, and so much easier than starting from scratch every time you cook. With this one simple method, you can enjoy fresh ginger for months while keeping its natural flavor and health benefits. It's proof that the best solutions are often the easiest ones we can do right at home. Try it for yourself and see how much time and energy you save in the kitchen. If you found this helpful, please give the video a like, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more simple and practical tips coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.